Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are tackling a seriously dangerous myth surrounding senior blood pressure medications. Every single day, millions of people take their blood pressure pills exactly as prescribed, yet they unknowingly make little mistakes that can dramatically increase their health risks. So if you're taking Amlodipine, Losartan, or Lisinopril, or if you know someone who is, stick around. This explainer is going to empower you with some absolutely crucial, life-saving practices to help you avoid the most common and frankly dangerous medication mistakes out there.
Okay, let's dive right into this widespread and really dangerous assumption. We've all heard it. Once I start taking my medication, my job is done. It's an incredibly common belief that simply swallowing a pill is the end of the story when it comes to managing your health. But here's the reality. Most people don't realize that exactly how you take these medications can actually be just as important as taking them in the first place.
To see how this plays out in real life, let's look at a quick case study. Take Mary. She's a 72-year-old retiree who faithfully took her blood pressure medication every single morning, without fail. Yet, despite being so incredibly consistent, she still felt dizzy, tired, and kind of unsteady on her feet. Like so many of us would, she just assumed it was a normal part of getting older. But spoiler alert, the real culprit was actually hiding in her daily routine.
Yeah, it turns out it wasn't just getting older. Mary's blood pressure was actually dropping dangerously low. Why? Well, because she wasn't monitoring it correctly at home. This specific scenario happens way more often than you might think, and it perfectly illustrates why we need to be proactive, not just passive, with our prescriptions.
So, to help you take back control, we're going to walk through 5 essential steps today. The illusion of safety, know your medication, perfecting your routine, hidden saboteurs, and the bigger picture. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. The illusion of safety. Beyond the pill. You've probably heard high blood pressure referred to as a silent killer, and that's because it rarely gives you any noticeable warning signs until serious and sometimes totally irreversible damage has already been done to your body. That is exactly why these medications are literal lifesavers. They're designed to actively step in and reduce the risk of heart attacks, strokes, kidney disease, and heart failure. But, and this is a big but, because there are rarely any physical warning signs, really simple mistakes like a missed dose, grabbing the wrong supplement, or even just mild dehydration can dangerously interfere with your treatment and you wouldn't even realize it.
Moving on to Section 2. Know your medication, the big 3.
Now, before we compare the actual medications themselves, we've got to understand the battlefield. Let's talk about angiotensin II. This is a hormone in your body that naturally tightens your blood vessels. Think about what happens when you pinch a garden hose. The pressure inside shoots up, right? That's what happens in your body, raising your overall blood pressure. Keep this hormone in the back of your mind, because understanding it is the key to understanding how your medication actually does its job.
So here's where it gets really interesting. While these 3 common medications all share the exact same goal, lowering your blood pressure, they use completely different pathways to get there. First up, amlodipine. This one works by blocking calcium from entering the muscle cells of your arteries, helping them relax. But because of how it works, the side effects can include ankle swelling, flushing, and headaches. Next is Losartan. Remember that hormone we just talked about? Losartan directly blocks angiotensin II. Its side effects can include dizziness and potentially high potassium levels. And finally, we have Lisinopril. It works in a similar neighborhood, but instead of blocking the hormone, it actually stops your body from producing angiotensin II in the first place. Its hallmark side effect? A persistent dry cough.
Now, because they take different pathways, they have different side effects. And here's a huge trap. So many seniors completely ignore specific symptoms, like a new cough or ankle swelling, just assuming, oh, well, I guess I'm just getting older. Please do not write them off. If you notice new symptoms after starting a medication, tell your healthcare provider immediately.
All right, Section 3. Perfecting your routine, timing, and tracking.
Listen, consistency is absolutely vital when it comes to maintaining stable blood pressure levels all day long. You should really aim to take your medication at the exact same time every single day. If you're someone who forgets, hey, we all do it, take the guesswork completely out of the equation. Grab a physical pill organizer or just set a recurring alarm on your phone. And this next point, it's critical. If you miss a dose, never, ever double up later to try and catch up unless your doctor explicitly tells you to.
We've also got to talk about how you measure your progress. A lot of folks only get their blood pressure checked at the doctor's office. The problem is, the stress and anxiety of just being at the clinic can temporarily spike your readings, which gives a totally false impression of your health. Checking it at home gives you a much truer picture. To do it right, sit perfectly still and quiet for 5 minutes before you test. Measure it at the same time each day, and write it down. Your daily numbers tell a detailed, ongoing story that one stressful clinic visit just can't match.
Let's talk about another massive factor in your daily routine: hydration. Dehydration can actually make your blood pressure drop way too low, which skyrockets your risk of dizziness and some really dangerous falls. And worse, even mild dehydration can actively impair your kidney function. This is especially true and especially dangerous if you're taking Losartan or Lisinopril. So always make sure you are drinking enough fluids, unless, of course, your doctor has specifically put you on a fluid restriction.
That brings us to Section 4, Hidden Saboteurs, Unseen Interactions. This first saboteur catches so many people completely off guard. You might think reaching for an over-the-counter painkiller, like ibuprofen or naproxen, which are NSAIDs, is perfectly safe, right? Well, frequent use of these supposedly harmless pain relievers actually fights right against your blood pressure treatment. No kidding, they can raise your blood pressure back up and put a really heavy strain on your kidneys. Always, always check in with your pharmacist or doctor before starting a new over-the-counter medication. And here's another sneaky saboteur, potassium. Most folks have no idea that Losartan and Lisinopril can unexpectedly drive up your body's potassium levels. Now, potassium is great, we need it, but having too much of it, that can dangerously mess with your heart rhythm. Because of this, you've got to be extremely careful with potassium supplements, or even those over-the-counter salt substitutes, unless your doctor has given you the green light.
Finally, let's look at Section 5, the bigger picture: taking back control.
As brilliant as modern medicine is, your medication works so much better when it's backed up by healthy, everyday choices. Cutting back on sodium, staying physically active, keeping a healthy weight, prioritizing good quality sleep, and actively managing your stress levels. Guys, these aren't just nice suggestions. These lifestyle factors act as a massive force multiplier for your prescription, vastly improving your overall blood pressure control. The whole shebang works together.
Now, let's say you've really dialed in your lifestyle. You're eating right, moving more, and you feel fantastic. You might think, hey, I don't need these pills anymore. That is a huge mistake. Do not ever stop these medications suddenly. Because high blood pressure is a silent condition, it will return just as silently. Quitting your meds cold turkey without your doctor guiding you can lead to some severe, unseen complications. Always talk it out with your healthcare provider before tweaking your dosage.
And remember, your body is a dynamic system, which means regular checkups are totally non-negotiable. As we age, our overall health, our kidney function, and those potassium levels naturally shift around. What worked flawlessly for you 5 years ago might need a little tweaking today. Staying on top of your follow-up appointments lets your doctor safely track these metrics and adjust your medications, ensuring your treatment stays safe and highly effective.
At the end of the day, small changes truly do make a massive difference. These medications absolutely save lives, but only when you know exactly how to use them the right way. The more you understand about your own health, the more control you have over your future. And trust me, it is never too late to take charge. So, I'm going to leave you with this to think about. Based on everything we've covered today, what is the one small change you are going to make right now to protect your heart tomorrow?